There are a handful of ways a Google Ads account bleeds money without you ever seeing it. I'm going to do one per video. This is profit leak number 1, and it's the first thing I fix in almost every account I take over. It's a small group of products that spend real money every month and lose it. Not many, usually a dozen or two, depending on account size. But they are scattered across all of your campaigns, so no single screen ever shows you the damage, and it just keeps going. I'm Andrei from RD Marketing, where I help e-commerce brands grow with Google Ads. By the end of this, you'll have a repeatable quarterly cleanup that moves budget off the losers and onto your winners with no per campaign babysitting. And for those who are interested, even a free Claude Cowork skill that does it. Let me show you why this leak is so easy to miss. Shopping PMax bid at the product level, but you manage your campaign at the campaign level. That gap is the whole problem. Google is optimizing for its goal, not your margin. So a product can pull clicks, get the occasional sale, keep looking alive, and still lose you money every single month. And because those products are spread across several campaigns, there is no one obvious place that adds up the damage. So it compounds. That's why the fix isn't to hunt through campaigns. The fix is to judge every product once in one list and then act on it everywhere at the same time. Let me walk you through exactly how I do that. Here's the real account. First, I go to all campaigns and make sure they're all selected, enabled and paused. Then I head into Insights and Reports, open the report editor and pull up the Shopping Products report. I set the date range to the last 90 days. For the rows, I leave it on item ID, so I'm looking at one line per product. For the columns, I add the ones that tell the truth. Conversions, conversion value over cost, which is your ROAS, conversion rate, and clicks. Then I sort by cost, highest at the top, and I read down from the biggest spenders. Before I judge anything, I set the bar for what even qualifies. And I want to be clear, there's no magic number here, it depends on the account. What I'm looking for is enough data to trust the result. On this account, that means a product needs at least 40 to 50 clicks, or it's spent at least $30 to $35 over these 3 months. Below that, there isn't enough to judge, so those products keep their runway and I leave them alone. Now, for the products that did spend enough, I look at ROAS first. For example, this account's target ROAS is 2.8, but I'm not going to exclude everything under 2.8. That would be way too aggressive. I set the exclusion bar way down, around the ROAS or around 1. That's conservative on purpose. At a ROAS of 1, the product is basically just paying for itself, so I'm only cutting the ones that are genuinely underwater. You can be stricter later, but start conservative. So I read down from the top. Here's an obvious one. Conversion value over cost is 0.79, and it spent $846. That's real money coming back at a loss. I grab that product's item ID and add it to my list. I keep scrolling. Here's another at 1.1, another at 0.91, another at 0.45. You get the pattern, and I'm collecting item IDs as I go. Now watch what happens as I get down near my spend floor, around $35. Here's a product with 93 clicks and only 1 conversion. 93 clicks is plenty of traffic for a product to prove itself, and it didn't. A few more with over 100 clicks, over $30 spent, still no conversions, all candidates. The products that get clicks and almost never turn into a sale. This one spent $31.69 on 48 click. It's right at the edge. Technically it's near my floor, but it's such a small amount that I'd rather give it a little more time than cut it now. So I leave it. That's the judgment. You're not being ruthless, you're being fair. That's how you identify the leakers, a short, honest list of item IDs. I take that list and tag it. I build a supplemental feed in Merchant Center that stamps a custom label on exactly those products with a value like excluded. Then I apply it to the campaigns, and this next part is the one manual step, but you only do it once. In each of your shopping and PMax campaigns, in every ad group or asset group, you open your product listing groups. First, make a note of how you currently got them split, say by product type. Then you subdivide all products by that custom label. You set the excluded value to excluded, and under everything else, you recreate the split you had before, your product types or whatever you were using. You set that up one time in each campaign. After that, it runs itself. From then on, the exclusion follows the tag, not the campaign. So when I tag a product in the feed, it drops out of every campaign automatically. When I untag it, it comes right back. I never go campaign by campaign again. I just manage one list in the feed. Now, full honesty, I don't do all of this by hand every quarter anymore. I've built a Claude Cowork tool that runs this analysis for me and generates that supplemental feed automatically. But I showed you the manual version first on purpose because the tool is just doing these exact same steps faster. The judgment is still the part that matters. Knowing your spend floor, your ROAS line, and which products the business wants kept alive, that's yours to make, whether you do it by hand or let a tool tee it up for you. And then I review the whole thing once a quarter. I repull the last 90 days, I rejudge, and I retag. Leakers can earn their way back and the new ones get caught before they cost me much. Now, before you go and exclude half your catalog, I want to give you two bonuses. Because excluding a product should never be a permanent death sentence, I always leave it a cheap way back. Bonus 1. The catch-all safety net. When I exclude a product from my main campaigns, I don't want to slam the door on it forever. Maybe it was priced wrong that quarter, maybe the images were bad, so I keep one catch-all campaign running every product, including the excluded ones, on very low bids and a very low budget. Think of it as a cheap audition. A product I bench still gets a small, controlled chance to prove it has potential, and it's costing me almost nothing to find out. If one of them starts performing really well in that catch-all, I flag it at my next quarterly review and consider promoting it back into the main campaigns. Excluded doesn't mean deleted, it means it's on the bench, not off the team. Bonus 2. Seasonal reactivation. Some products only earn their keep in one window a year. They're dead for 10 months and then they sell like crazy in November and December. If I just leave those excluded all year, I'd shut them off right before the one good season, which would be a mistake. So before the high season starts, I run a separate high season only analysis. I look at how those excluded products performed during the season last year specifically, and the ones that actually win, I reactivate right before the season kicks off. Then when the season's over, they go back on the exclusion list. It's the same system, just pointed at the right window. Here's the recap. Pull your products across all campaigns for 90 days, judge the ones that spent enough on ROAS, then conversion rate, then a real business gut check. Tag the losers with a custom label and set that label to excluded in each campaign one time, so it stays automatic from then on. Keep a cheap catch-all so they can earn their way back. Reactivate the seasonal ones before the season and redo the whole thing once a quarter. I put the whole thing onto a one-page quarterly checklist, every step in order, so you can just run it. Grab it free with the link in the description. That's leak number 1. There are more, and I'm going to take them one at a time. So if you want the next one, subscribe and tell me in the comments what your account's overall ROAS looks like right now. If it's been flat for a while, there is a good chance this is exactly the leak you've got. That's it for today. See you in the next one.